this is not good. We've got to bail out. We've got to bail out. Well, that went well. For years, I have had the 172, a yoke, low and slow and beautifully relaxed. So when I got myself the HOTAS and I decided to give World War II combat a try, I thought to myself, well, how hard can it be? Turns out, very hard. So today, I'm going to share with you 5 brutal lessons that I have learned quite quickly, making that transition from the yoke-based flying over to the stick. Now, I'm no expert. I am a complete noob when it comes to this, but hopefully you can resonate with some of the things that I'm about to show you and learn from the mistakes that I'm certainly seeing. Coming from the yoke, the stick, well, it just feels unnatural. I've spent years on the yoke. Nice big movements, forward, back, left and right. You get to this thing and the slightest movement and it is all over the place. So hard to control. Tiny inputs, massive reactions. I feel like I'm constantly chasing the plane, overcorrecting, left, right, up, down. Doesn't matter what I do. It is really hard. And one of the first things that I've learnt that you need to do is spend time, and a fair bit of time, dialing in those sensitivities, the linearity and so on. You've really got to do that by just doing circuits. Forget about the battles. Just learn to fly the aircraft just using the stick. So what I've been doing is just taking off circuits like I would have in the GA and landing it again. And even those landings have been shockers. In GA-based flying, I'm generally used to between 90, 110, 120 knots. Nice and cruisy, steady turns, controlled turns, nice flared landings, beautiful, easy to control. But in World War II combat, I'm glancing down doing 300 knots or something ridiculous, turning around like a maniac, trying not to overshoot or overcorrect. I've got some guy up my backside shooting me down left, right and centre. It is absolute mayhem. It is a massive sensory overload. This combat-based flying is full 360. In the Cessna, you're generally level. It's left and right, 30-degree turns on. This thing, you're flipping it. You're upside down. You're going vertical. You're going down. It is full circle around you. And to unlearn that from your head coming from a 172, it's actually quite difficult. You've really got to wrestle the crap out of these things and manage that energy. And that is something that I need to learn as well. Energy management, particularly in these older aircraft, is critical. So here's the lesson. If you think for a second that you're going to jump into these World War II birds and fly them like a 172 or some light aircraft, you are going to come unstuck very quickly and you will not win a battle. I have not even got a shot in yet, and I have been doing it for hours. In GA-based flying, most of the danger stuff happens kind of in front of you, whether that be the terrain that's approaching, whether that be adverse weather, the conditions that are approaching, other aircraft and so on. It's generally forward of you. Combat flying, and it is everywhere. Forward, back, down, up, left, right, you name it, it's there. So here I am, honed into a target, trying to get onto his tail, got myself into a nice position, slowly creeping in, lining up the guns, just about ready to fire, and boom, something comes out of nowhere, shoots the wing off, and I am gone. So I can certainly understand the benefit of a wingman in these sorts of conditions. But the big lesson as well that I'm finding very, very quickly is you got to be checking your six because you think that you're all okay. Again, it's this 172 mindset that you've just got the world to yourself. Reality is you don't. just because you're lining up someone, they can guarantee you there's someone coming around and they are lining you up. It is just relentless. Now, I know I'm a real noob at this, but I would really love your views and opinion to help me out. How do you get the spatial awareness working for you? At the moment, I'm running on a flat screen, and I think that's part of the problem. I really do want to have a look at this in virtual reality, and I think that that should help in relation to me being able to dynamically turn around. Now, whether it be VR or track IR, which some people use, but I'd really like to hear your thoughts. It has to be on a HOTAS-based system, because I think that to use a mouse view control, well, you've got an unnecessary advantage, in my opinion. So really keen on hearing the thoughts from those ones that fly with a HOTAS-based system. Let me know how you manage it. I'd really like to understand it. Do you go in third person, or do you stay in first person cockpit view, which to me feels more authentic, but I think it'll be even more authentic in virtual reality. One thing that I think I have picked up is that once I've locked onto a target, is that I stay with that target. I don't break off to the next one that comes flying past and think that's opportune. I generally hook into a dogfight with one. Now, please let me know if I'm wrong, but I'm basically hooking into one and then literally it's on and we're chasing each other. And I know there is certainly some tips and tricks as it relates to maneuvering your aircraft in dogfight-based positions, and all of that I'm yet to learn. I've said it before, this GA-based flying, it's slow, it's relaxed. Get into this thing and it is just sensory overload. Your hands are fixed to the stick and the throttle, and all of the buttons are here. So one of the other things that I'm trying to get my head around really quickly, and I haven't even moved into jets yet. This is just simple World War II aircraft. But the mapping of the controls, bombs, guns, primaries, secondaries, throttle control, flaps, landing gear, trying to get it all done like this whilst being shot at, I might add, is actually quite a sensory overload. This is absolutely on another level. I have the biggest respect for all of you people that do combat stuff. My hat goes off to you, because this is not easy. I have got an absolute sensory overload, and I need to learn slowly how to where, and I guess it's muscle memory, as to where these things actually are, so I can slowly dial into my head where everything naturally is. So I can just reach for the gear, reach for the flaps, throttle control, and so on. But at the moment, my God, is it on another level. So the big lesson that I've got in this one is I deliberately went for World War II based aircraft to start with. Why? Because there's less buttons to worry about. If you look at those big jets, the F-18s, the MiGs and so on, I mean, there's everything, the autopilot, the nav controls, the weapons controls. There is so much to it, which is why a sophisticated HOTAS unit is so sophisticated. So my view is build it up slowly over time. So literally I've got, other than primary flight controls, mapped in some guns, bombs and so on, and really kept it high level, flaps and gears, and just work from that. This, as I said before, is taking it up a notch, but in an odd, weird kind of a way. I'm finding it quite addictive. All of a sudden, I'm able to fly this thing just that little bit better, and it is a slow progress. But I want to improve that. I want to come back and improve my aiming and improve turning and energy management. I'm really, really enjoying the journey of moving from GA into combat. And I haven't done it yet, and I'm sure it's going to take some time before I do. But I reckon when I get that first airborne kill, it is going to feel really sweet. And I reckon that's when I'll say to myself, okay, this is starting to work, and now I can build on some more of that foundation. So my big learning here is expect to be mentally exhausted coming into this fresh and raw. This kicks your brain because it is happening so fast. Okay, so there are 5 brutal truths that I have found moving across from general aviation-based flying into the use of a HOTAS and World War II combat. I'm sure there are others, so please leave your thoughts and comments down below and let's share it with the community. I'd love to hear about it. It is fantastic. And for you guys that do this more often as a combat-based flight simmer, my hat goes off to you because, my God, does the sensory overload taken up another level. It is fantastic. I'm really looking forward to getting more involved in this, and I hope one day that I'll be able to mix it with some of you guys out there. If you did like the video, do me a big favor, smash that like button. And if you haven't yet subscribed, it would be great if you could subscribe to the channel, and I can post other content similar to this in the future. Well, I hope you enjoyed it. Look after yourselves, and I'll catch you on the next one. It has to be on a HOTAS. I've done it again. HOTAS.